Veil of faith.
Don't carry this alone. You didn't click this video by accident, not curiosity, not coincidence. Something inside you is tired of pretending everything is fine. You keep showing up, you keep functioning, you keep smiling when needed. But deep down, there's a quiet exhaustion you don't know how to explain. It's not loud pain. It's not dramatic sadness. It's a constant weight, the kind you carry silently so no one worries. You go through your days doing what needs to be done, yet something inside feels empty, stretched, worn thin. At night, when everything slows down, that's when it becomes harder to ignore. Thoughts repeat. Memories return. Questions you avoid during the day start asking themselves, and you wonder why you feel alone even when people are around you. This isn't weakness. This is what happens when a strong heart carries too much for too long. You've been holding things together for everyone else, but no one really sees how heavy it feels inside you. God sees it. He sees the moments you stay quiet. He sees the strength you use just to get through ordinary days. He sees the weight you never put into words. You don't need to fix yourself right now. You don't need to have clarity yet. You don't need to be strong in this moment. You're allowed to rest here. Right now, you are not being asked to carry anything. You're not being tested. You're not being judged. Just stay. Because this moment isn't about effort, it's about being held. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. There's a reason this heaviness feels familiar to you. It's because you've been carrying things you were never meant to carry alone. Jesus never looks for people who have it all together. He moves toward the ones who are exhausted from trying. He doesn't wait for your life to be organized. He doesn't arrive after everything is fixed. He comes when your strength is running low, when your thoughts won't slow down, when your heart feels tired for no clear reason. That's where he meets you, not in the noise, not in the performance, but in the quiet place where you finally stop pretending. Jesus sees the weight you've normalized, the emotional pressure you learned to live with, the sadness you hide because explaining it feels too complicated. And he doesn't ask you why you feel this way. He doesn't lecture you. He doesn't tell you to be stronger. He simply stays. He stays when your mind keeps replaying the same thoughts. He stays when your chest feels heavy for no visible reason. He stays when you're tired of being the strong one. You may feel empty, but you are not abandoned. You may feel overwhelmed, but you are not unseen. Jesus is closest when you feel the weakest, because that's when you stop carrying everything by yourself. Even now, in this exact moment, you are not being held together by your own strength. You are being held. That quiet sense of relief you feel when you stop fighting, that moment when your breathing slows just a little, that's not imagination. That's his presence. He's not here to rush you. He's not here to demand answers. He's here to take the weight you were never meant to hold. And you don't have to understand everything for that to be true. Just stay with him here. Some emptiness doesn't come from loss. It comes from giving too much of yourself for too long. You kept showing up. You kept functioning. You kept doing what was expected. And somewhere along the way, you stopped asking how you were really doing. This kind of tiredness doesn't show on the outside. People don't notice it. They just see that you're fine. But inside, something feels drained. Not broken, just worn down. You wake up already tired. Rest doesn't fully rest you anymore. Silence feels heavy instead of peaceful. And you don't even know how to explain it. You just know something feels off. Jesus understands this kind of emptiness. He knows what it's like to give without being replenished, to carry responsibility without being understood, to feel alone even while surrounded by people. That's why he doesn't rush your healing. He doesn't shame you for feeling numb. He doesn't push you to fix yourself. He meets you exactly where the emptiness lives, in the quiet moments, in the pauses between thoughts, in the spaces where words fail. The emptiness you feel isn't proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof that you've been strong for too long without rest. And rest doesn't always come from sleep. Sometimes it comes from finally being seen. Jesus isn't asking you to have faith figured out. He's asking you to stop carrying everything in silence. Right now, you don't need answers. You don't need clarity. You don't need to know what comes next. You just need to stay. Because even in the emptiness, His presence is already working, slowly, quietly, restoring what exhaustion took from you. You are not empty beyond repair. You are simply tired, and tired people deserve rest. There's a moment when tiredness turns into something deeper, not panic, not despair, just a quiet thought you don't say out loud. I don't know how much longer I can keep going like this. You still get through the day. You still answer messages. You still show up. But inside you feel like you're slowly coming apart. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. Jesus sees that moment. He sees the strength it takes to keep moving when your heart feels heavy. He sees the courage it takes to stay when it would be easier to disappear for a while. That's why He doesn't speak over you. He sits with you. He doesn't demand explanations. He offers presence. When you feel like you're losing yourself, He is holding the pieces you don't even know how to name. You might feel weak right now, but weakness doesn't push Him away. It draws Him closer. Because His strength was never meant to replace yours. It was meant to support you when yours runs low. You don't have to feel strong to be carried. You don't have to feel hopeful to be held. You don't have to feel faithful to be loved. Even now, when your thoughts feel scattered, when your emotions don't make sense, when you feel disconnected from yourself, He is steady. You may feel like you're barely holding on. But the truth is, you are being held. And that changes everything. Not all at once, not overnight, but gently, patiently. The kind of healing that doesn't overwhelm you. It restores you piece by piece. If you're still here, still listening, still breathing, this is not the end of your strength. It's the beginning of being supported instead of surviving alone. Take a slow breath right now. Not because everything is fixed, but because you're not alone in it anymore. Some burdens were never meant to be carried for so long. Some weights stayed because you didn't know how to put them down, not because you were weak, but because you were doing your best with what you had. Jesus doesn't ask you to explain your pain. He already understands it. He doesn't rush you toward healing. He walks with you through it. And in this moment, right now, nothing is being demanded from you. You don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to feel better immediately. You don't have to become someone new overnight. You are allowed to rest. Not the kind of rest that ignores reality, but the kind that reminds your soul it's being watched over. Even if your heart still feels heavy, even if tomorrow still feels uncertain, even if the answers haven't arrived, you are supported. Grace isn't loud. It doesn't force its way in. It stays close and steady, and little by little, what felt unbearable begins to feel shared. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not too much. You are seen. You are valued. You are held. If this moment brought you even a small sense of calm, let it stay with you. You don't need to rush away from it. And if you feel comfortable, take a moment to acknowledge this quietly, or write in the comments, "I don't have to carry this alone." Stay here. Return when your heart feels heavy again, because this space and this presence will still be waiting for you. If you're still here, it means something inside you chose not to leave yet. And that matters. Sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is stay present for a few more moments when everything inside them wants to disappear. You did that, not by force, but by endurance. There are seasons where life doesn't break us all at once. It wears us down quietly, through small disappointments, unspoken grief, days that blur together, smiles that take effort, and people don't always notice because you learned how to function while hurting. But God notices, not the version of you that performs strength, the version that keeps going when no one is watching. He sees the exhaustion behind your eyes, the pauses between breaths, the moments you lie awake at night wondering why things feel heavier than they should. You are not dramatic for feeling this way. You are human, and you don't need permission to feel tired. Jesus never shamed people for being worn down. He invited them closer, not to fix them immediately, but to be with them. That invitation still stands. You don't have to arrive healed. You don't have to arrive hopeful. You don't even have to arrive believing fully. You just have to arrive as you are. Because love doesn't begin after healing. Healing begins where love is present. And even now, in the quiet of this moment, something unseen is holding you steady. Not pushing, not pulling, just staying. You may not feel different yet. That's okay. Peace doesn't always arrive as relief. Sometimes it arrives as permission to stop fighting yourself, to stop explaining your pain, to stop comparing your pace to others. You are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to rest without guilt. You are allowed to take up space exactly as you are. Nothing about you is an inconvenience to God. Your questions don't offend him. Your silence doesn't push him away. Your weakness doesn't disqualify you. It draws him nearer. And if all you can do tonight is breathe and listen, that is enough. Let this moment be a pause, not a conclusion. A place you can return to when the weight returns. Because it might come back. Healing isn't linear, but next time you'll remember this. You were not alone then, and you are not alone now. If your heart feels slightly lighter, even by a fraction, hold on to that. That's not coincidence. That's care. Stay as long as you need. Come back when you need it again. You don't have to carry this alone. Not tonight. Not ever.